Been studying communication for 3 years, and I'm going to teach you how to eliminate stutters from your speech. Now, a lot of people don't understand that when you stutter, it makes you look like a retard. I want you to think of this scenario. Let's say you have this huge presentation coming up, you're in college, you have to present in front of the class, and you go up there and you start stuttering like a fucking bumbling idiot. Christopher Columbus. Shut the fuck up, bro. You don't want to sound like a retard, because if you sound like a retard, people are going to treat you like a retard and your overall life quality is going to decrease. So, there's so many fucking times in life where you don't want to stutter. You don't want to stutter on a date. You don't want to stutter when you're giving a presentation, like I said. You don't want to stutter when talking to your friends. You don't want to stutter when you're making a good joke, because then it's not funny anymore. There's so many reasons why you don't want to fucking stutter. So I'm going to teach you exactly how you can completely and utterly eliminate it from your speech. Now, if you don't have a notepad or pen, I highly recommend you go get one right now. Pause the video, go get it, because the shit I'm about to tell you is going to change your life. Now, the very first reason why you stutter is because you speak too fast. A lot of people, and me, I'm guilty of this myself. Just today, I was talking to my friends after a crazy hoop session, and I was fucking hooping because I've been out here just playing basketball, listening to podcasts, learning about communication. And I was just hooping earlier today. I was making shot after shot after shot, playing like it's the finals. I was playing good, but when I was talking to my friends, I was talking too fast and I ended up stuttering here and there. Even me, a master communicator, even I fall victim to the stutter. And it's because I was talking too fast. You don't want to talk too fast. The first reason why you don't want to talk too fast is because obviously you're going to stutter, right? You don't want to stutter, but you also don't want to talk too fast, because when you talk too fast, people can't comprehend what you're saying. You might think that you're super boring if you talk slow, but the truth is, you need to be dynamic. You need to know when to speed up, you need to know when to slow down if you want to become a master communicator. And on top of that, I teach you how to do that in the communication lab. The program I have, it's the link in the description. It's going to make you a master communicator. I teach people how to become a dynamic communicator. And it's going to make you a G, because you're going to know how to speak well. It's going to increase your value. It's going to increase your life quality. So if you want to check that out, you can click the link in the description. It's 4 times cheaper than it will ever be. It's the cheapest it will ever be. So I highly recommend you get it now. It's not completed, but once I complete it and shit, then I'm going to raise the price. But the reason why I didn't complete it yet is because I want people to join. I want people to give me ideas so I can personalize the communication lab courses towards them. And then I'm going to make the whole program even better. Now, yeah, the first issue with that, with speaking too fast, is because you speak too fast and people can't understand what you're saying. They can't comprehend. That's why the best speakers in the world, they pause. You might see this in lecturers a lot. You're probably college professor. Your college professor, he's sitting there and he's pausing. After everything he says, he pauses. And that's like the bare minimum of being a good speaker. You want to pause. Not only does this stop you from speaking too fast, but this also stops you from speaking super, super fast, and then your mouth is catching up with your thoughts, and then all of a sudden, in a snap of a finger, you lose your train of thought, and that's why you end up stuttering. So the first reason why you stutter is because you speak too fast. Don't rush. What's the rush, bro? Yes, you can speak fast, but you need to know when. And I teach you that. But yeah, just slow down, bro. There's no need to fucking rush. And the second reason why you stutter is probably because you're nervous. And being nervous might be a big reason why you rush. Just earlier this week, I was in ELA class, my English class. I'm a senior in high school, by the way. I was in class and I was talking to my friends, whatever. They had this huge engineering presentation. And they were talking about this one kid, Mark. Fuck, I said his real name, whatever. If you're watching this, Mark, my bad. But Mark, apparently he was talking too fast in the presentation. And the reason why, what do you think the reason why is? It's because he was nervous. He was fucking nervous. That's why you spoke fast, and it's probably the same for you. You're probably nervous in social situations. You're probably nervous when giving a presentation. That's why you speak too fast, and that's why you end up stuttering. So speaking too fast, yes, that's the cause, but the root cause is you being nervous. And let me tell you something. Being nervous is the result of not being good at something. Please understand, this is a principle of the universe. Confidence equals competence. If you're good at something, you're going to be confident at it. If you're good at basketball and you're in the NBA, you're going to be confident when you're on the NBA court. If you're good at swimming and you're an Olympic level swimmer, you're going to be confident in the swimming pool. So confidence equals competence. So if you're not good at something, obviously you're going to be nervous, obviously you're going to start speaking fast, and obviously you're going to stutter. So that's why it's so important that you get good at speaking. Now, the very last reason why you stutter is because you have a lack of knowledge. Maybe it's not because you're nervous, maybe it's not because you're speaking too fast, but you might stutter because you have a lack of knowledge. You can't explain your thoughts in a clear and coherent way. And that's a big issue. That's a big issue because you're saying something, you're saying a joke, you're saying something funny, and you can't explain it in a clear way, so it sounds all complicated, and all of a sudden you made a joke and no one laughed. That, you don't want to be that guy, bro. You want to have your jokes land. You don't want to sit there like a bumbling idiot, stuttering in front of the class. You want to make sure you know what you're talking about, because the more knowledge you have on a particular subject, the more you speak on it without stuttering. Obviously, if you get to my level, you can probably speak about anything without stuttering. But the reason why I can speak without stuttering when I'm talking about any subject in the world is because I don't speak about it. That's the secret I learned, actually. I just learned this recently. If I want to talk about something I don't have any knowledge about, let's say rocket science. Rocket science? I don't fucking know rocket science. Who the fuck knows rocket science? It's almost a joke, right? People say, oh, it's not rocket science. I don't know anything about rocket science, but what can I infer about rocket science? Well, there's a rocket, so I could talk about space, and then I could start moving on to a tangent about NASA and Apollo 11 and the moon missions I know about, but I don't know anything about rocket science. So if you want to talk about any subject in the world without stuttering, all you need to do is not talk about it. Alright, so I'm talking about rocket science. Alright. Oh, so rockets, yeah. I'm going to say out loud. Yeah, I don't know much about rocket science, but I do like rockets. And I remember learning about this one Apollo 11 mission where these astronauts, they went to the moon, they did all the tests and stuff, and that's all the video footage you see online. All that video footage is from the Apollo missions. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, humans were able to get to the moon. That's insane. Actually, fun fact, Alabama, the football team, Alabama College, their football team didn't have a black cornerback until we got to the moon, until after we got to the moon. So you see how I'm talking about a subject that I have no knowledge about, but I'm kind of venturing off into a tangent, something that's kind of related, but I'm not talking about rocket science, but I can still kind of talk about it. That's how you speak about a subject without actually speaking on it, and without looking like a fucking idiot. And I also teach you how to do that in the communication lab. So just to quickly recap why you stutter. 1, you speak too fast. I'm telling you, bro, you don't have to rush what you say, and you can pause, bro. You can take a second to pause. It's not awkward. I paused multiple times in this video. I'm pausing right now. It's fine. You can pause. It gives people time to digest what you're saying, and it makes what you say next more clear and concise. Now, the second reason, you're nervous. So you're speaking fast because you're nervous. You're nervous because you're not good at speaking. So if you want to stop being nervous, the number one thing I can tell you is to get good at speaking. If you're nervous in any field, really, if you're nervous in basketball, get better. If you're nervous driving a car, get better. At first you were nervous driving your car with your parent. You were nervous. You're like, oh, what do I do? How much do I press the gas? When do I brake? What time do I brake? Make sure I don't brake too soon or too late. You were nervous because you weren't good at it, but eventually you just fucking zip around 100 miles an hour on the highway, no regard for human life. So if you're good at something, you're going to be confident at it. That's a law of the universe that you need to ingrain in your mind. And very last thing, you need to have knowledge on what you're saying. Have knowledge on it. I have knowledge about football. So I could speak about football, I could speak about running backs, wide receivers, I could speak about the plays I learned in Madden, blah, blah, blah. I can speak about that. The more knowledge I have on a subject, the more clear your thoughts are gonna be. However, if you don't have knowledge on what you're gonna say, that's fine. Once you start really getting good at speaking, and you start getting to my level, you can speak about any subject by piecing chains of ideas together. I could speak on rocket science without actually knowing any rocket science. So if you want to learn how to do that, if you want to learn how to completely remove stutters from your speech, I'm going to help you practice that inside of the communication lab. You can check it out. It's on pre-sale. I genuinely believe it's going to change your life. I wholeheartedly believe it. And the reason why I say that is because it changed my life, really. I used to be the guy in the back of class. I wouldn't speak to anyone. I wasn't social, and I felt this crippling loneliness because when I made a joke, no one laughed. When I spoke, I stuttered. I just wasn't confident with people. And like I said, confidence is competence. Since I wasn't good at speaking, I wasn't good at being social, because that's all social is. When you look at the most confident people in the world, they're good at speaking. Excuse me. When you look at the most confident people in the world, they're good at speaking. That's all it is. They're not necessarily good at anything else. They're just good at speaking. That's why they seem confident. But the truth of the matter is, they're not going to be confident when they go into the NBA game, right? They never played basketball. So they're only confident in that domain. So if you want to master that domain, if you want to master the domain that dips its finger into every single cake on earth, communication, and if you want to do it like a G and not like a fucking nerd, then you can check out my program. The link is in the description. It can absolutely and utterly change your life.